Welcome back. It's student section pick'em. Another week. I hope another dollar. The Chanticleers did me right last night, and I was very happy about it. It's good to be back.
Chanticleers on the show.
What? Big fans of the Chanticleers?
Big fan of the Chanticleers. Best mascot in sports that was determined yesterday when we're recording this.
Correct.
Down go the Raging Cajuns. It was only a matter of time, Smitty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. Down go the Raging Cajuns. I was all about it last night. I loved Coastal Carolina. I like the way they play. I like the offense. I hate the fact that they keep running speed options on third down. I was about to lose my mind last night, but it worked sometimes. It did. So recap last week, we all had a half decent week except for Shelly. Shelly had a nice 0-6 run.
Yep. Happens.
Yeah, that was rather brutal.
I knew my day was FUCK'd when my lack of the day just completely blew up in my face. At that point, I emotionally checked out. So anyone tailing me right now, probably not good to be with me because, I'm not hot, but my gut has been feeling good. It has. I have not been taking medication for it. It's been healing naturally, so now we're back this week.
There we go. I love it. So we are going to give a rundown of our big games of the week, starting with the Friday night games. First, Smitty, do you have anything to say? Anything about your week last week?
Last week was good. Tag disappointed me, but
yeah,
way it goes. Big game this week for them.
Yeah, Virginia Tech. The word fraud has been used to describe their performance this weekend. Do you have anything to say about that?
All I'm going to say is completely different game if you start Hendon Hooker.
I've been hearing that a lot from Virginia Tech fans, but Hendon Hooker still played in that game.
Yeah, in the second half, and look how close it was after halftime.
He was. Doesn't matter. They still lost. Great day for me, especially after the drumming that occurred on my under of the day. Didn't hit. This weekend sucked. Hopefully this one's better.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I'm liking the lineup we got going on this week, starting tomorrow night. A lot of big matchups. I think a lot of overs will be hitting this weekend, especially starting tomorrow night.
Your early prediction is that points are going to be at a premium this weekend.
I think this is the week that people are going to make the most money if they just look at the games, look at the scores from last week, and roll with it. I mean, look, you got SMU who puts up points like nobody. Tulane. Then you just got, and then you get to some teams that are like Georgia and Bama. That's going to be a shootout, I think.
Look, that over-under is 56.5. We'll get to that, but that over-under is 56.5, and I can't believe it's that low, but it also scares the crap out of me that it's that low.
You look at Georgia's defense.
I want to know why.
Georgia's defense, it's easy.
I guess so, but Alabama's defense is really bad, and their offense is really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of points scored there, but
I'm liking a lot of these spreads, though. Good spreads, I think.
I do too. So let's get it started. Friday night. I guess it's a 6 o'clock ball game, I believe. Or no, it might be 4 o'clock. Is it 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock ball game.
Yes.
It's 6 o'clock ball game. SMU minus 6.5 against Tulane on the road. Over under 64.5. Smitty, I'm gonna start with you. What do you like here?
SMU covers all day long.
Ooh, minus 6.5.
Yes. I'm gonna hammer the over too.
SMU and the over. I will say, so with our new format, we can also choose to not touch the game if we don't like the spread or the under. So
I like that spread a lot, though.
I do too. I like SMU. But Shelly, all right.
This pick is presented by Biscuits and Bets, your one-stop shop on Twitter for betting advice. I don't like the over/under at 64.5, but I do like the spread of 6.5 for SMU. I think this is a very iffy Tulane team and a very good SMU team. I think 6.5 is pretty good. I like that. I'll hammer that, as they say. Shout out to Biscuits and Bets.
I love it. I love it. Using my my burner account as
I'm its only
promotion.
follower. What the hell? Why aren't you following me back? Why don't you follow your own burner?
I actually don't really know. I figured it'd be too easy to tell because burners are supposed to be rather private.
I believe the handle, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you changed it. Okay.
Yeah, it's Biscuits and Bets.
Okay.
Just get some bets on it.
I did find Eggs' burner as well. That was
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. He showed me that, and that's what gave me the idea to make it. All right, so SMU, I like the 6.5 too. Tulane kind of fell off of a cliff after the first half against Houston last week, and Shane Buechele has had a pretty good season, but a little bit shady for his standards. But I think SMU gets the job done. I'm not going to hit the over because I don't know how many points Tulane has scored. And SMU, in that game against Memphis, where everyone thought it was going to be like 100 points scored, they scored 3 points in the second half. So I am going to stay away from the over, but I like the 6.5 there. I like SMU in that one.
It's pretty, honestly, that feels generous. That's
Yeah.
It
For-
does.
for Tulane.
It does feel generous. I think it's solely because they're on the road. I think Tulane gets a little bit of a favor because you think about it. If SMU is at home, they get it. They get 2 scores.
I've heard also Tulane pumps in like 10 decibels of sound, of fake noise. So that's gonna play a factor too.
It is, yeah, 10 decibels, quite a bit.
Yeah, it is. It's loud. It's really loud. They'll blow your eardrums off if you're like standing by the speaker.
All right, BYU and Houston, 2 undefeated teams. BYU squeaked by UTSA last week. Houston played their first game against Tulane and mauled them in the second half after coming out slow. BYU -5, and the over-under is 63. What do we like here?
I'm going BYU.
BYU.
Yes. I'm liking BYU a lot. I'm not touching the over under though. That's looking over the different over and unders. I think this is one of the more scary ones because I think it's such a coin flip. Both teams just go off at random times during the game, like we saw last week with Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm comfortable with BYU. I've liked what I've seen out of their offense. The quarterback's doing a great job over there, and I think BYU will cover.
All right. Shelly
does not agree.
This is tough. This is tough for me because BYU looked vulnerable last week.
They did.
Albeit they are probably one of the best, one of the best Group 5 teams. I'm going to take Houston, honestly, +5. I think they got a shot. I really do. That's not a bad Houston team there. They haven't gotten the opportunity to play a lot of games this season. But this is also a BYU team that really hasn't been tested either. And this is going to be I guess, one tough game all year in theory.
I think they play Army late in the season. I might be wrong.
But I don't.
Army hasn't shown me anything since that first game.
Yeah, they're not that great.
No, almost losing to the Citadel last week. That's brutal.
And we thought Navy was going to be better. I mean, we thought that BYU was world beaters after the Navy game because we assumed that Navy was going to be good as well. They've been as close to garbage as you can get.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston +5. I think they got a shot to at least cover and possibly win this one.
All right. I'm actually going to stay away from this. I don't really like anything here because I don't trust BYU right now. After what they did against UTSA last week, UTSA is a good team. They sling the rock pretty well. BYU has unbelievable weapons on the offensive end, and they've got one of the best defenses in football. But Houston, they've only played one game, and they put up 40-plus points in that one game. So I have no idea who's going to show up. And so I am going to stay away from this. I'm not even going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm going to be intrigued to see who wins, and it might be a live play, but I don't know. BYU. If I had to go somebody, I'd go BYU. Maybe probably money line. There's no value there. It's minus 205, but if I had to pick someone, it'd be BYU.
I mean,
All right, but
can't argue either there. But I
yeah,
love what are they, the Cougars?
yeah, they are the
Yes.
Cougars.
Are they both the
You
Cougars?
like Cougars, Shelly?
Are they both Cougars?
They are the Cougars. They are both the Cougars.
Well, battle of Cougars.
Out of the
So whoever wins this game, the loser has to change their mascot. That's how these rules work in my
The
world.
winner of this game is officially the king of the old ladies who like young dudes.
Sure. Except the BYU guys don't dabble in that.
That's true. They just do polygamy.
We're getting in dangerous waters here, Brian.
It's Mormon. It's Mormon.
They're also all 30 and have families. But on to the Pitt Miami game.
I probably shouldn't have said that. That might be like some legal issue that I might have
We probably just got demonetized.
probably.
Whatever.
Noon kickoff for Saturday. Ooh, my mind is in a lot of different places here. My probably least favorite game of the day is Miami and Pittsburgh. Miami is getting 13.5 at home. Over under is 47.5. Battle of Pittsburgh's defense versus Miami's high octane offense.
Pittsburgh is dangerous.
They're dangerous, but they just did not look good the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going Miami covering here, to be honest with you.
All right.
I think Miami coming out after last week. I think a lot of people are saying some bad things about them, that they're not what everybody's saying they are and all this stuff. I think they're coming out pissed off and ready to prove a point. And I think they're covering and they're going over.
All right. I like the over. I do like the over here.
The over is my favorite part about this game.
That's big.
I mean, 47.5.
That's low.
Yeah.
That should be free money. And see, I bet you this is going off of how the known Pitt defense. I mean, Pitt's been known for their defense for the last 5 years, 10 years?
Yep.
I mean, Pitt is a sleeper team. They don't have the best offense. And they didn't play the best last week, but their defense is scary.
The defense is really good. Their front seven is unbelievable. It's going to make it tough for Miami to run the ball.
Yes.
Shelly.
I hate the line. I hate the line, but I do like the over. I really do like the over in this game.
Okay.
I don't see the Pitt defense being able to stop Miami for the entirety of a game. At the same time, I don't trust the Miami defense. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. The
Yep.
U is definitely not back. I take that back.
Saw that last week.
Yeah, they got absolutely just steamrolled by a far superior Clemson team. They still got a lot of work to do in Miami. Give them 2 seasons. If they aren't good if they aren't with Clemson in 2 seasons, they're not back.
No.
The over at 47.5. It's very low. It's very low for a very good Miami offense. We're gonna hammer that,
Life's too short to bet the under.
as they say.
In that case, I am going Pittsburgh plus 13.5 and the over. I think this is going to be a 1-score game. I like Miami to win. I don't like Miami to cover. Pittsburgh's defense is really good, and this is why I like Pittsburgh to cover. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here. So Clemson, what they did against Miami is they stacked the box. Clemson has good enough guys on the outside to win man-to-man situations on the outside and with the safeties. Pittsburgh did the same thing, has done the same thing to Miami the past 2 years. They've stacked the box and they've won one-on-one coverages. They're going to do it again. Miami always has trouble with Pittsburgh, especially up in Heinz Field, which they're not there this week. But Miami always has trouble with Pittsburgh because the defense has always given Miami fits. And I think it'll be like a 28-24 game or so, somewhere in there, which would still cover.
So it covers.
Covers both for me. But I think Pittsburgh will cover here. I think turnovers will be the big factor here because if Kenny Pickett can hold on to the ball and not turn it over, Pittsburgh will keep it close. But if Miami starts giving into that defense and not making plays, Pittsburgh could be in for a good night. All right, going on to another noon ball game. Clemson and Georgia Tech. Clemson on the road. They're minus 27 with the over-under at 64.5. It's a big spread. And this one's kind of interesting for me. That's why I put it on here. It's very interesting to me. And you'll see why when I pick. So, Smitty, we'll start with you.
Georgia Tech covers.
Ooh.
Georgia Tech covering.
Interesting. All right.
One of those gut feelings. Georgia Tech's another team that I don't like betting against. So if they're ever playing, I will bet not on them winning, but them covering.
Yep.
They're one of those sneaky teams, man. I don't know what it is about them. They're flashy. They're coming at you with everything they got, and Clemson. I mean, it's Georgia Tech. Clemson's the best team in the ACC. They're not looking at Georgia Tech that well right now.
No. Who does Clemson have next week? That's the question. As this could end up being a trap game, which I didn't even look at before we started this. Clemson they've got Syracuse next week. This ain't no trap game.
Yeah.
All right, we're fine. Shelly?
So going into this game, Clemson is 1-3 against the spread.
They did cover the spread against the number 7 team in the country.
Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
In those 3 games that they didn't cover, they had spreads of 20-plus points.
Correct.
One of them was a 50-point spread against the Citadel. They won 49-0.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
This is a Georgia Tech team that stinks. I think 27.5 is a lock for Clemson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they win by 35 plus.
I think you're crazy.
I think Trevor Lawrence throws for about 400 yards before he gets pulled in the second quarter. And NTN runs for about 50 yards because it doesn't matter because he's going to be catching at least 6 passes out of the backfield for 150 yards. No, I'm just kidding. They're going to cover. I got one of those feelings. This Clemson team is coming off of a big win against Miami in dominating fashion. They've got the ball rolling now. Now they're getting into the meat of their schedule. It's just going to be blowout after blowout like we saw the last 2 seasons, last 5 years from Clemson.
Yep.
I just don't see Georgia Tech getting anything done on offense because Sims is good, makes a ton of mistakes. You can't do that against a defense like Clemson and expect to be at least remotely in the ball game. This one is – I didn't think about touching it, but then I thought to myself, wait, it's Georgia Tech. And that made it a lock,
Yep. And you mentioned Georgia Tech's offense and how it's not good. And that's why I'm staying away from the spread because Clemson is 1-3 against the spread this year. But I'm taking the under of 64.5, which has actually already jumped up since I made the spreadsheet. It says I put 63.5 on the spreadsheet. It's up to 64.5 right now, which makes me even happier. I'm taking the under 64.5 solely because I don't think Georgia Tech will score. And if they do, it'll be under 10 points. And I don't think Clemson is putting up 54 points. Or 55, honestly. 54 to 10 still covers. But, I think this is going to be like a 49-7 ball game.
Yeah.
Clemson's just going to score early, and then they're going to put the backups in the fourth quarter, and they're just not going to score anymore. I think it's going to be a lot like what they did with the Citadel when they were up 49-0 at halftime and didn't score again. But yeah, so I like Georgia Tech to score under 10 points. So the team under, whatever that may be, take that. And then Clemson to just kind of pour the offense on. So probably Clemson to cover, probably, but I just don't want to even touch this because it's such a big spread.
Yeah.
And Clemson just doesn't really cover spreads. So Clemson's a good team, not a great team. At number 1 in the country. Auburn and South Carolina. I believe this is another 12 o'clock ball game. Yes, it is. Auburn -3 on the road against South Carolina. South Carolina has looked half decent this year. Auburn has looked half horrible this year. Auburn almost lost to Arkansas. So there's that. The over-under is at 51.5. We'll start with Smitty.
I'm going Auburn.
Okay.
I know how they've played so far this year. Offensive line has been absolutely terrible. I think this is the week they start to figure things out. Bo Nix gets in his groove, and they win the football game. It is away. That's the only thing that kind of scares me is they're in Carolina. But to be honest with you, I haven't seen anything spectacular out of both teams. I think they've both just kind of been cruising along. I think this will be a good game to watch. I think Auburn will cover with Bo Nix.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as Smitty here. I think Auburn -3 is pretty safe, I'd say. This is definitely going to be a game where Auburn hopefully gets their feet back on the ground and stops stumbling. And South Carolina is a decent team. They'll probably make it competitive, but I think they'll end up winning by a touchdown or two, but when it's all said and done.
All right. I was going to stay away from this game, but the more that I look at it, the more I'm going to get crazy. Going South Carolina money line. Look, Auburn almost lost to Arkansas last week. And South Carolina almost beat Tennessee, who didn't really look great against Georgia last week. But then again, South Carolina seems to show up at home. And the way that the South Carolina team is built, they're not going to give up many points. They're not going to score many points either, but they figure out their offense a little bit against Vanderbilt. Put up 41 points. Now it is Vanderbilt, but I think this is going to be a close game, probably like a 20-17 ball game, but I think South Carolina wins it. Prove me wrong, Auburn.
Had to go against us.
I did. I look, I don't know. South Carolina, Auburn just rubs me wrong right now. I just don't trust Auburn with anything.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I do think if South Carolina wins this game, don't be shocked if Gus Malzahn is looking for work on Sunday.
Yeah, we might need to text. If they lose, we might need to text Carden too.
Yeah, we might need to check in on Carden after this one.
Make sure he's okay.
Yeah, that might be brutal. All right, moving on. Kentucky at Tennessee. Tennessee is getting 6 points. This is another 12 o'clock kickoff. Over under at 45.5. This is an interesting game. Smitty, your pick.
Tennessee and the over.
Tennessee and the over. Kentucky gave up 2 points last week to a team that put up 45 on an LSU.
Tennessee and the over.
All right.
Not touching this one.
I'm not either. I am not either. Look, I don't trust either of these two teams at all. Kentucky is the most up and down team probably in the SEC right now.
Yes.
And then Tennessee didn't score in the second half against Georgia last week. And they gave up 44 points to Georgia. Georgia is not built to score points. Therefore,
Prospect game, it's just not worth it.
what I will say is if I were to play something, which I probably won't here, I'd probably go the over. The over just seems really low. But if I still think it's going to be right around 45.5. It should be right around there. But if I were to play something, it'd be the over.
This is the game that will make me look like a genius or make me look like an idiot.
Correct. Just like my South Carolina.
And I'm hoping it's a genius.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Don't we all?
Yes.
All right. So Smitty takes Tennessee spread. I think, right? No.
Tennessee covering.
Tennessee and the over, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I got to jot down the notes here. That way I can keep a record after today or after Saturday. All right, moving on here. Another intriguing game, Army and UTSA, a 1:30 kickoff. Army is getting 7.5 points against a team that's 3-1 and just lost by 7 to BYU. The over-under is 49.5.
I'm staying away from this game. I don't want it.
All right. Smitty stays away. Shelly?
I'm going to take UTSA to cover.
I like your thinking.
I'm not sold on this Army team. They've been very kind of meh. Like the triple option, like when it's working well, it looks great, but they haven't been able to really get that going consistently. Their defense has been suspect. UTSA coming off of a tight loss. Very good BYU team. I think they're going to keep that momentum going, and they're going to, I don't want to say steamroll Army, but I think they'll at least make it competitive and keep it close.
Yeah.
Honestly, screw it. Give me the money line for this
Going
one.
with the money line, plus 235 on the money line. I was literally just thinking that how that money line might be a play. I'm going to stay away from the money line here, but I'm going to go UTSA to cover. Covering 7.5 is difficult with Army.
Yeah, because if
they so much clock that and honestly, if Army has to go down and score a touchdown to win, you might as well just lock in UTSA. Because Army is not built to go down and score a touchdown to win a ball game. Like they're not built for a 2-minute drill. So say UTSA's, I don't know, or say it's like a 1-point game for Army. They've got the chance to go down and score a touchdown to put the game away. I have no faith in them doing that.
It's the one true fundamental flaw of the triple option. You can't score quick points.
Yep.
It's literally built for if your offense is clicking that day, you should win the game.
Yep.
But if you find yourself in a close one, a barn burner, as they say, it's not usually your best friend. But
I agree.
I do think they will cover. But I for the hell of it, I'm going to go with the money line.
All right. Like that. We like risky plays. Love it. All right. Louisville on the road against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's getting 17 points against a team that feels depleted right now. Over under 62.
Notre Dame covers. I like that over, and I like the over here, but I'm not going to go with it. I'm going to stay with just Notre Dame covering.
All right.
This is one of the games that I'm excited to see. Notre Dame they're just now getting the ball rolling for their football team. And I think they have the ability to do some pretty interesting things in South Bend. So I'm excited to see what happens this weekend with them.
I mean, their offensive line is the best in the nation, so it's going to be tough for Louisville to get anything going defensively. But it's all going to be a matter of, are they going to turn the ball over? Is Louisville going to turn the ball over? And can Louisville get a stop or two? If they can, Louisville's got a shot to cover this game.
Yes.
If Notre Dame scores every possession, Louisville has zero absolute chance.
And I mean, the other thing you got to look at, the number one key deciding factor in this game is how good is Ian Book?
Yeah.
How good does he play? That's your deciding factor right there.
Here's my theory on that. So Ian Book hasn't been in a big time game yet this year. He hasn't had to go out and win a ball game for his crew because they had 200-yard rushers last week. Keep an eye on this, because if this game becomes a shootout, I'm interested to see how Ian Book does. Because it can very well get into a shootout with the way Louisville is. But if Notre Dame's defense isn't clicking, you may see some weird stuff from Ian Book. But Shelly, I'm not going to take your pick away from you. Go ahead.
Well, actually, that was my point exactly. I'm taking Louisville to cover this bad boy because I don't trust Ian Book at all. He's probably one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football, but he's also one of the most inconsistent. He's been, honestly, his whole career, he's been backed by a really great offensive line and great running backs. And I don't think this Louisville defense should give him any problems, but the Louisville offense is dynamic enough that if you look up at some point in like the third quarter, don't be shocked to see them hanging with you because they will put up points.
Yep.
And I just don't know how you're right. I don't know how he's going to respond to a game like that because he really hasn't ever had to do that, at least not this year. And when he has been given that opportunity, he's fallen flat on his face. What makes this pick so risky though is that Louisville has just been like wrecked with injuries. It's just been a really, really tough year for them. Their play calling is also atrocious at times. They're really lucky they have the playmakers they have, and I don't want to mess up his name because I always call him Malik.
It actually is Malik Cunningham. So it was Michael Cunningham last year, and then he changed his name this year.
All right, so what? Time out. Why are you going to change your name like that?
I don't know.
Something so similar. Malik Cunningham, my boy Tutu Atwell. Tutu, one of the most dynamic receivers in college football with that name, Tutu. He's coming for Juju. Yeah, Louisville. I like the Cardinals. I really do against the Fighting Irish. I don't think they'll win, but 17 is a pretty steep number for a Notre Dame team that really hasn't proven anything yet. They've proven that they're good. They haven't proven that they're a great team yet.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm proven wrong because I really do like the Irish, but you never know.
All right. I'm going to roll with you, Shelly. I'm going plus 17 for Louisville. I got them covering. Not touching the total, but Louisville can make this thing into a shootout, and if Malik Cunningham plays well, Louisville has a shot to win the ball game. But no, I don't think they will. I think Malik Cunningham will play well, but not well enough because Notre Dame is just way too good on both sides of the ball to lose this football game, especially the offensive end, and that's where Louisville struggles is playing defense. So, yeah, I'm going Louisville here. All right, moving on. We have, let me find it. Where is it? Struggling here. Here we go. All right. UCF on the road against Memphis, minus 3.5. In UCF's favor. It's an interesting one. The over-under is 73.5. We always know there will be points with these two. So, Smitty, take it away.
I've gone back and forth with this one. Because I can see Memphis kind of sticking around, but then again, I look at UCF and look back at their past, and I'm going UCF covering. Um, I think this is going to be another close game. Has the potential to be a very, very good game. I'm going to stay away from the over under. I just 73.5's high for me in this game. Now, if it was UCF versus somebody else that was known for throwing points around, then I'd go with that. But I think it's going to stay. I have a feeling it's going to go under and UCF.
So you're taking under and UCF.
Yep.
All right. Kelly.
Okay. So obviously on the UCF side of the ball, they have the Dylan Gabriel, the lefty gunslinger, great quarterback. I'm gonna take the under. I don't trust that line at -3.5. It's very fishy to me.
All right. I am taking UCF at -3.5. I'd probably buy the hook down to 3 just because it's -105. So I'd probably buy a hook to make it a 3. That way you can push on a win by a field goal. And I'm actually going to take the over. Memphis and SMU let me down with their under that happened earlier this year. That was supposed to go over. They put up like 56 combined points and like a 71 point total earlier this year, and then both teams just laid an egg in the second half. But there's something about UCF that just can't stop scoring points. No matter who they play, they score points, and I think Memphis is going to have to contend with them. They're going to have to keep scoring points to contend with UCF. So if you catch my drift, that equals like a 50-40 ball game. Because I trust Dylan Gabriel, like you talked about, Shelly, and I trust Memphis quarterback Brady White. The dude's like a 7th-year senior and has thrown for like billions of yards in college football. I trust both of these quarterbacks to just keep marching down the field, touchdown, and I like this to be like at least 80 points score of the game. All right. Next on the docket, Duke sucks, dude. I don't even want to talk about this game. Duke is so bad. How do you beat Syracuse? How do they beat Syracuse? Sorry. Duke at NC State. NC State's getting 4.5. The total is 60. What do we like here, Smitty?
I like NC State here. Just from what they did last week, to be honest with you.
Yep.
That's my only reasoning is from last week I'm going NC State. Because if I start thinking too much, you look at the other games this year. One game, their run game goes through the roof. Quarterback finds out who he is. Next game, they can't put points on the board to save their life, and then they come back and you beat Pitt.
Yeah.
I'm going NC State. And Duke, I mean, like you said, Duke fucking sucks.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm going NC State here.
Duke is awful. All right.
And you know what?
Oh.
I'll even go NC State as my lock.
Oh. All right. NC State is your lock of the week. I love it. All right. Shelly?
This is the battle for just I don't even know what to say about this game more than the fact that I guess let's see how much Duke loses by this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking at least 3 TDs.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, dude, 4.5, that's free money.
Don't throw that word around.
Now, yeah,
I'm taking NC State -4.5 simply because Duke is terrible. And yes, they beat Syracuse. A blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. But most of the time they get run over by cars so they can't see them coming. And NC State looked really good against UVA. That offense is pretty good. Defense is solid enough, especially against an NC State offense that just loves giving away turnovers, giving the ball back to you because they're such nice guys down there too. Yeah, NC State 4.5. This game's gonna be terrible. It might be the most mind-numbing game on the slate.
I am rolling with you. NC State 4.5. Y'all basically said all the reasoning, so I'm not even going to get into it. Duke just sucks. And they shouldn't have beaten Syracuse last week. This is the most intriguing spread of the weekend for me, which is our next one. Ole Miss at Arkansas. Ole Miss is -1.5 against a team that won their first SEC game in
A millennium?
3 years. 2 weeks ago? Yeah. 2 weeks ago, they won their first SEC game in 3 years. And Ole Miss, who scores like billions of points, although they can't stop anybody from getting out of the end zone, are only getting 1.5. That's my 2 cents. But, Smitty, I'm going to let you take it away.
I'm going to roll Ole Miss here. I mean, like you said, dear, Ole Miss throws up points.
Mhm.
Yeah, their defense sucks. I don't think Arkansas's offense is good enough quite yet to expose that. I think Arkansas will keep it tight through halftime, and after halftime, I think it will go full-blown doors open. Ole Miss just throwing points up like it's no tomorrow.
All right. I like your thinking.
But
Oh,
the line is very high, I believe. 75 points.
yeah. I was not exactly sure about that one.
Yeah.
Shelly, your pick.
So we're forgetting a very important X factor in this game.
Don't you dare say Felipe Franks.
His name is Felipe Franks.
Can I kick you out now?
Let me tell you why.
Can I kick you out? Let's see.
Let me tell you why.
Stop.
Any team,
Okay.
any team that has Felipe Franks on its roster deserves to be picked against. I'm taking Ole Miss simply because I hate Felipe Franks. No other reason why. I don't care about any of the offensive statistics that Ole Miss was put up or the fact that Arkansas is kind of playing decent football this year. I don't like Felipe Franks. He's a mediocre quarterback, does not deserve to be an SEC quarterback, yet he's been an SEC quarterback on not one but 2 squads. He got his job taken by a guy that didn't even play a single snap in high school. That should be enough. Kyle Trask didn't play any, was a backup in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Felipe Franks lost his job to him. Albeit Kyle Trask is a stud.
Yeah.
But same time.
Wait, who was a starter? Who was a starter in high school for Kyle Trask?
Let me look this up real quick.
Yeah, you look that up. I'm going to give my pick. Mississippi is my lock of the week at -1.5. Arkansas is not good. They're not good.
You want to know who his starting quarterback was?
Who?
Garrett King.
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder he didn't play.
Yeah, he started as a freshman and then lost his job to oh my goodness.
That's unbelievable. That's a heck of a quarterback room in high school.
The fact that the backup quarterbacks are getting SEC offers and Garrett King went to Houston
Yeah.
Some
Well,
of those
Kyle
matchups
Trask
will
is
be
like
tough.
6'4", and DR King's about 5'10", so a little difference there.
6'5", 240.
He's 6'5".
5.
Sheesh. Wait, Smelly, you're taking Shelly, you're taking. I keep mixing y'all's names, so I say Smelly all the time. Shelly, you're taking Mississippi, right?
Of course.
Okay, fantastic. We're all on Mississippi, and that is my lock of the week. Moving on to Texas A&M getting 5.5 points against Mississippi State. Mississippi State has scored like all of like 12 points since they played LSU. I don't know about y'all, but Texas A&M showed me something last week.
Yes.
This was a statement win in the Jimbo Fisher era we were looking for.
I agree. Shelly, who you going with? Wait. So both Smitty, you're going with Texas A&M, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Shelly,
Give me A&M.
A&M. I'm going A&M as well.
Right.
Also, what is the under there? 54.5. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say take the under if it was above like 63, but UNC and FSU really quick. Smitty,
UNC.
UNC, love it.
Just because they beat Tech last week, I think they're going to throw points all over the board against FSU.
Yep.
UNC as well, because that offense is legit. FSU stinks.
Yep.
That's all.
Love it. I'm going UNC as well. Florida State is awful. I will never bet with Florida State. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I hate Mike Norvell. I hate their fans. I hate that stupid chop that they do. And let's move on to Boston College and Virginia Tech.
Boston College covers.
Boston College. I love it.
They do not win, but they cover.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, Smitty. Shelly.
Give me Boston College money line, baby.
Give it to me, Shelly.
Give it to me, baby.
Give it to me. Let's go. We love it. Let's go. I'm all about it.
I don't care. I don't care about your running back Herbert. I don't care about Herndon Hooker.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look up what this money line is.
You need the Eagles.
I gotta look up what this money line is. Hold on.
A lot.
It is drum roll plus 340. I love it. I love it. Virginia Tech showed me absolutely nothing on the defensive end last week.
Yep.
And Peter Jerkovich is a dog. I love it. All right, last game, the most important game of the week. No Nick Saban, but Georgia at Alabama. Alabama gets 4.5.
Upset of the week. Go Dogs.
Ooh.
Real quick.
I do want it to be known before I give my pick. In the last two meetings of Boston College versus Virginia Tech, Boston College has won both.
Yes. They have.
That's major.
That is major.
That is major.
The most iconic one, though, is definitely 07, the greatest football season in college football history.
Yep.
But give me Bama.
No.
Give me Bama.
Oh.
Saban's out. Stetson Bennett's on a roll. The Dogs' defense is winning in the football game.
They're winning this one for Nick Saban.
No, they're not. Can't stand that man.
I love Nick Saban. Love everything he does.
I'm sorry. I'm not taking this line. But I am going the over. Alabama's averaging about 56 points this year, and the total is 56.5. I love that. For a Georgia offense that's clicking, Alabama defense that kind of sucks, Alabama offense that's really good, and a Georgia defense that is kind of mediocre.
I love Georgia.
Love the over.
I love the Dogs.
I like the dogs too, but I don't know. I don't probably if I had to play anything, I'd probably go Alabama money line. I don't trust 4.5.
I
I
said
think
it.
it's gonna be a really close game.
I said it last week and the week before last week. Stetson Bennett has lived for this moment. And everything he's done so far this year, he lived up to it. He is the most underrated quarterback this year in the SEC. I think he shows out this week, beats Bama, moves the dogs, maybe even they might go up to number one after this week if they beat Bama by enough.
Mm-hmm.
Bama has, I think the dogs will win this football game.
All right, I love it. I love it. Last thing, breaking news. We woo. Le'Veon Bell to the Chiefs. It doesn't really affect us as a college sports podcast, but Le'Veon Bell to the Chiefs. So big time football news. But
franchise.
what?
That's our terrible franchise.
Yeah.
Have fun drafting Trevor Lawrence.
Goodbye, Sam Darnold. Gentlemen, good luck on your picks this week.
I'm going undefeated. I say that every week. I think this is going to be the week I do.
Yep.
I am too. And therefore, you will not, Shelly. Because if I go undefeated, you're not going undefeated.
Don't you put that on me, Brian Deere.
I love it. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, boys.